All right, you might wake up starving on your first international flight overseas. Today, I'm going to talk about a story that I had, and this might help you if this is your first trip overseas. And basically, I remember years ago, I was flying, I think I was going to Croatia, I think, and I was flying from Phoenix to New York to Frankfurt to Zagreb, I think. But anyways, on the first leg from Phoenix to New York, I got into New York. I had about a 5 hour layover, and I remember I was starving. I was so hungry, and so when I went to one of the bars. I went to one of the airport bars, had a burger and fries and a Coke and everything, and then I got on my flight for to fly over to Frankfurt, which is about I think 11 or 12 hour flight. Now, with and so I get on the flight, and then about 90 minutes into the flight, maybe 2 hours into the flight, they serve you dinner. And so they bring out this dinner that, they ask you if you want pasta and chicken or beef and vegetables, something like that. And so they asked me if I want all that, and I didn't because I was full. I just had this big burger, back at the airport. And so then after they feed you, they turn off all the lights. And then they make, they want everybody to go to sleep essentially because this is like a 12-hour flight. And so they turn off all the lights. And so I went to sleep, and then I woke up, probably 4 or 5 hours later, and I was starving because like the last time I ate was when I was in the airport in New York. And so basically, and then I had to wait probably 3 hours before I was able to get breakfast in when I landed, or when we were about to land in Frankfurt. So that's just a piece of advice for you, or a tip. And really, it's probably number 55th on the list of things to worry about. But it's kind of like the rhythm of traveling, or the rhythm of long flights, long haul flights. So just remember that when you fly across the water, so any flight from the U.S., from like the East Coast of the U.S., or any flight from the U.S. to Europe, is going to be at least 9 hours minimum, and more likely 10, 11 hours when you're flying over the water. So on almost every international flight, they serve you dinner. And so they'll serve you like the dinner, a snack, and breakfast. And again, that's almost on every flight I've ever been on. So just kind of remember that. And they do that about, like I said, about an hour, 2 hours after the flight takes off. What they want to do is they want everybody to go to sleep on those big flights, on those long flights. So just remember that after about 90 minutes or 2 hours after you take off, you're going to get fed dinner almost all the flights that go over the water overseas. Now I say that, I keep saying almost because I remember there was one flight I think years ago, and it might have been Norwegian Air, I think, and don't quote me on that, but I think there was a flight where they didn't serve you dinner unless you like pre-ordered it online. And I didn't do that. I remember I was like starving like the whole time when I was going over to, I guess, whatever, Sweden or whatever. But most time, I say 90% of the time, they feed you dinner on a international flight. So, and they feed it to you relatively early, and a lot of times they'll offer you a beer because I guess beer supposedly makes you go to sleep. I don't know, but they offer you dinner relatively early into the flight, and then, like I said, after they serve you dinner, after they pick up all the trash, they will turn off all the lights in the plane. And so, again, they want everybody to go to sleep. So anyways, that's kind of like the rhythm of a long-haul flight. If you've never been on an international flight before, that's what you can kind of expect. So anyways, hope that helps. Again, like probably 50th on the list of priorities to think about when you're flying overseas, but hopefully that helps you when you're on your next flight. So thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.